awful hot. That new candy I'm making, it just won't ever get cool.
You have to make candy today, Essie. It's such a hot day.
Well, I got all those new orders. And went out and got a bunch of new orders.
My, if this keeps on, I suppose you'll be opening up a store.
That's what Ed was saying last night, but I said no. I want to be a dancer.
The only trouble with dancing is it takes so long. You've been studying such a long time.
Only 8 years, Mother. After all, you've been writing plays for 8 years. We started about the same time, didn't we?
Well, yes, but you shouldn't count my first 2 years because I was learning to type. I think that candy's hardly enough now, Miss Essie.
Oh, thanks, Reba. I'll bring some in, Mother. I want to know what you think.
Did you finish the second act, Miss Sycamore? What, Reba? I said, did you finish the second act? Oh, no, I just got Cynthia entering the monastery. She was at the Kit Kat, wasn't she? Well, she gets tired of the Kit Kat Club, and there's this monastery. So she goes there. You mean they let her in? Well, yes, I made it Visitor's Day, so of course anyone can come. Oh. So she arrives on Visitor's Day and just stays. You mean she stays all night? Oh, yes, she stays 6 years. 6 years? I bet she busts that monastery wide open. 6 years later.
Oh, Mr. DePenna, will you bring up one of those new skyrockets we made? I want Mrs. Sycamore to see one. Sure. Penny, look at the little firecrackers we made today. You know we can sell them at 10 for 1 cent and make money on it. Listen to this. See if you don't think this is really pretty good. Nice, huh?
Yes. Paul, dear, were you ever in a monastery?
No, I wasn't. Wait till you see the new skyrocket, Penny. Blue stars, then gold stars, and then a bomb. And then a balloon. Mr. DePenna thought of the balloon.
Sounds lovely. Did you do all that today?
Yes, and we also made here we are. Here we are. Look at this, Penny. We can make these things for just 18 cents, and we can sell them for 50 cents. Whoosh! Boom! I can just see the heavens filled with my white stars. Mwah. How many of these do you think we can make, Mr. DePenna, before the 4th of July?
Well, we have 2 weeks left. When do you want to take this stuff down to Mount Vernon?
Oh, in about a week. You know, we're going to need a lot bigger booth this year because we got so much stuff made up and we're not through yet. Come on, let's keep at it.
Look here, Sycamore. I'm afraid that the powder chamber is a bit too close to the balloon.
But we've got the bomb and the stars in between.
But that'll give the balloon time enough. A balloon needs plenty of time.
Well, let's go try it out. Come on.
All right.
Mr. DePenna, if a girl you loved entered a monastery, what would you do?
Ooh, I don't know, Frau Sycamore. It's been so long.
Miss Alice will be home to dinner tonight, Miss Sycamore. What? Oh, I don't know, Reba, maybe. Well, I set a place for her, but she's only been home one night this week. Yes, I know. Miss Essie's making some mighty good candy today. She's doing something new than coconut. Sounds nice. Let's see, 6, and Mr. DePenna, and Mr. Kolenkoff comes. That makes Yes, I better sit for 8. Reba, I think I'll put this play away for a while and go back to the war play. The war play? I always liked that one. Boom! Boom!
They'll be better when they're harder, Mother, but try one. I want to know what you think.
They look lovely. What do you call them?
I think I'll call them Love Dreams.
That's nice. I'm going back to my war play, Essie. What do you think?
Oh, are you, Mother?
Yes, I kind of got myself into a monastery and I can't get out.
Oh, well, it'll come to you. Remember how you got out of that brothel? Ooh, the snakes look hungry. Did Reba feed them?
I don't know. Reba, did you feed the snakes yet? No, ma'am. Donald's coming and he always brings flies with him. We'll try to feed them before Grandpa gets home. You know how fussy he is about them. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. DePenna was right about the bomb. It was too close to the balloon, was just too close to the powder.
What a love dream, Father.
No, thanks, I gotta wash.
Paul, I'm going back to my war play.
Oh, that's nice. You know, I think if we put some red stars after the bomb and then the balloon, that's gonna make it work.
Mr. Kolenkoff says I'm his most promising pupil.
You'd think with 40 months and one girl that something would happen.
Hey, Essie, listen to this.
I like that, Ed. Did you write it?
No, Beethoven.
Lovely. Got a lot of you in it. Ed, I made those new candies this afternoon.
Yeah?
You can take him around this evening.
Okay, now here's the finish. This is me. How's that?
That's fine, Ed. Remember it when Kalinkov comes, will you?
Ed, dear, why don't you and Essie have a baby? I was thinking about it just the other day.
Well, I don't know. We can have one if you wanted us to. How about it, Essie? Do you want to have a baby?
I don't care. I'm willing if Grandpa is.
Let's ask him.
Okay.
Labor play, religious play, sex play. I know it's here someplace.
I was right about the balloon. It was too close to the powder.
Anything you want printed, Mr. DePinna? How about some more calling cards?
No thanks. I still have the first 1,000.
Well, call on somebody, will you?
All right.
What have we got for dinner, Reba? I'm ready to print the menu.
Let's see, we got cornflakes, watermelon, some of them candies Miss Essie made, and some kind of meat, I forget.
I think I'll set it up in bold-faced Cheltenham tonight. You know, if I'm going to take those new candies around after dinner, I better print up some descriptive matter.
Do you think anybody reads those things, Ed, that you put in the candy boxes? Oh, here's the wordplay, poison gas. I guess that's Donald. Look at Reba
A
smile.
boyfriend, eh, Reba?
They're awfully cute, Donald and Reba. Kind of like red and scarlet.
Howdy, Reba. How you been, sweetheart? Oh, good evening, everybody.
Hi, Donald. How have you been?
Oh, I've been fine, Miss Ray. How you been, Miss Sycamore?
Very well, thank you. Donald,
Yes?
were you ever in a monastery?
No, ma'am, I haven't. I don't get out much anymore since I'm on relief.
Oh, yes, of course.
Oh, Reba, I got 10 flies for you. I caught a big old lesson on tonight.
Oh, you sure did.
I see you've been working, Miss Sycamore.
Oh, yes, indeed, Donald.
How's Grandpa been?
Just fine. He's over at Columbia this afternoon, the commencement exercises.
My, the years sure do roll around, don't they?
M-E-A-T. What's he go there for all the time, Penny?
I don't know. It's so handy, just around the corner.
Oh, Donald. Yes, sir. Mr. DePinna and I are going to take the fireworks up to Mount Vernon tomorrow. Do you think you could give us a hand?
Oh, yes, sir. I'll be glad to. But the only thing is, I can't take no money for it this year. See, if the government finds out I've been working, they'll be downright sore about it.
Okay. Ed, I got a great idea up in the bathroom just now. I was reading Trotsky. It's yours, isn't it?
Yeah, I left it there.
Who is it?
Trotsky, the Russian Revolution. Anyway, it struck me as a great fireworks idea. I'm going to do the revolution, a all hours display.
Hey!
Pop, that's wonderful.
The red fire's the flag, huh?
Right, and the Tsar, and the Cossacks, and the big red
And the
star.
British Redcoats.
No, it's the Russian Revolution, Donald. Oh, hey, Grandpa.
You should have been there. That's all I can say. You should have been there.
Was it a nice commencement, Grandpa?
Oh, wonderful. Gets better every year. You don't know how lucky you are, your snakes.
Big class this year, Grandpa. How many of them were there?
Oh, must have been about 2 acres. Yes, sir. Everybody graduated. Much funnier speeches than they had last year, too.
I tell you what, Grandpa, if you want to listen to a good speaker, you go on down there and you listen to Father Divine.
Oh, I'll wait. They'll have him in Columbia.
Donald, will you tell Reba that Grandpa's home now and we won't wait for Miss Alice?
Oh, yes, sir.
Grandpa.
Reba, Grandpa's home. We can have our supper now.
Grandpa, we made a great new skyrocket today. Wait till you see it.
Good evening, Grandpa.
Oh, evening, Mr. DePenna.
Didn't we make a great skyrocket today, Mr. DePinna?
We certainly did.
You know, I wonder why they don't have fireworks at commencements, Grandpa.
Oh, don't make enough noise. You take a good commencement orator, you'd drown out a whole carload of fireworks. Say just as much, too.
Don't the graduates ever say anything?
Oh, no. They just sit there in their cap and nightgown, get their diplomas. On about 40 years from now, they suddenly say, "Where am I?"
Hello, Grandpa. Have a nice day.
Oh, hello there, have a nice day. Don't I get kissed?
Excuse me, Grandpa.
I'll take a tomato, too. No, I could have used a couple of these this afternoon.
Father,
No thanks.
Mother.
No thanks, dear.
Let's see really? I don't know anybody.
It was for you, though. Had your name on it.
Oh, that's funny. Well, where is it?
I don't know. Mother, where's Grandpa's letter?
What?
Where's the letter that came from Grandpa last week?
Oh, I don't know. I remember seeing the kittens on it.
Well, who was it from? Did you notice?
Yes, it was on the outside.
Well, who was it?
United States government.
Really?
There was
I
one
wonder
before
what they
that.
wanted.
Oh, there was one before that, too. There was a couple of them from the same people.
Well, if any more come, I wish you'd give them to me.
Yes, Grandpa.
I think I'll go out to Westchester tomorrow and do a little snake hunting.
God is the state. The state is God.
What's that?
God is the state. The state is God.
Who says that?
Trotsky.
Oh, that's all right. I thought you had said it.
It's good for printing, you know. Nice and short. G-O-D space, I-S space,
The beautiful
T-H-E.
princess entered the palace and kissed her mother, and her father, and her grandfather.
Hello, darling.
Hi, Grandpa. And what do you think? They turned into the Sycamore family. Surprise.
Oh, Alice, I like it.
Do you?
It's new, isn't it?
It looks nice and summery.
Where'd you get it?
Oh, I took a walk during lunch hour.
Oh, you've been taking a lot of walks lately. That's the second new dress this week.
I just like to brighten up the office every once in a while. I'm known as the K. Francis of Kirby and Company. Well, what's new around here in the way of plays, snakes, ballet dancing, or fireworks? Dad, I bet you've been down in that cellar all day.
Huh?
I'm going back to the war play, Alice.
Really, Mother?
Ed, play Alice that Beethoven thing you wrote.
You know, you mail a letter all the way from Nicaragua now for 2 pesetos?
Really?
Kenneth, my virginity is a priceless thing to me.
Listen, people. Listen. I'm not home to dinner tonight. A young gentleman is calling for me.
Really? Who is it?
That nice.
Yes, I tried to do everything possible to keep him from coming here, but he's calling for me.
Well, why don't you both stay to dinner?
No, Mother. I want him to take you in easy doses. Now, I've tried to prepare him a little, but don't make it any worse than you can help. Don't read him any plays, Mother, and Grandpa, don't let a snake bite him, because I like him. Oh, and I wouldn't dance for him, Essie, because we're going to the Monte Carlo Ballet this evening.
We can't do anything. Who is he? President of the United States?
No, he's Vice President of Kirby and Company, Mr. Anthony Kirby Jr.
The boss's son?
Well,
The boss's son, just like the movies.
Well, that explains the new dresses.
And not being home to dinner for 3 weeks.
Like Sherlock Holmes.
are you going to marry him?
Why, of course, tonight. Meanwhile, I have to go up and put on my wedding dress.
I hope he's good looking.
He is. Oh dear, what time is it?
I don't know. Does anybody know what time it is?
Mr. DePinna might know.
It was about 5 o'clock a few hours ago.
I ought to know better than to ask you people. Will you let me know the minute he comes, please?
Of course, Alice.
Yes, but I mean the minute he comes.
Yes, of course.
We'll be sure.
Well, what do you think of that?
Well, she seemed to like him, if you ask me.
I should say so. She's got it bad.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if she married him? We could have the wedding right in this room.
Now, Penny, this is the first time he's called for the girl.
Well, you only called for me once.
I know, but young people are different nowadays.
Oh, I don't know. Look at Ed and me. He came to dinner once and just stayed.
Anyhow, I think it's wonderful, don't you, Grandpa?
Well, she certainly seems happy about it.
He must be crazy about her. Maybe he's the one who's taking her out every night. And there he is. Oh, never mind, Reba, I'll answer it. Now remember what Alice said and be very nice to him.
All right, let's take a look at him.
Well, welcome to our little home.
How do you do?
I'm Alice's mother. Come right in. Here we are. Now that's Grandpa, and that's Alice's father, Alice's sister Essie, and her husband, Ed Carmichael. There, now, give me your hat and make yourself right at home.
I'm afraid you must be making a mistake.
How's that?
My card.
Wilbur C. Henderson, Internal Revenue Department.
That's right.
Oh, what can we do for you?
Does a Mr. Martin Vanderhoff live here?
Yes, sir, that's me.
Well, Mr. Vanderhoff, the government would like to talk to you about a little matter of income taxes.
Income tax.
You mind if I sit down?
Oh, no, go right ahead.
Thank you.
Mother, is that Mr. Kirby?
Oh, no, it isn't, darling. It's an internal something or other.
Herr Sycamore, look.
What is it?
Oh, excuse me. These things are not going off. Look. See?
Whoa! No, not here. My grandpa's busy. Excuse us, please.
Now, Mr. Vanderhoff, we've written several letters about this, but have not had any reply.
Oh, that's what those letters were.
I told you they were from the government.
According to our records, you've never filed an income tax return.
That's right.
Why not?
Oh, I don't believe in it.
You own property, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you receive a yearly income from it?
I do.
Oh, between $3,000 and $4,000.
About that.
You've been receiving it for years.
Oh, I have. 1901, if you want the exact date.
Well, the government's only concerned from 1914 on. That's when the income tax started. Well, it seems, Mr. Vanderhoff, you owe the government 24 years back income tax.
Hey, wait a minute, you can't go back that far. That's outlawed.
What's your name?
What difference does that make?
Ever file an income tax return?
No, sir.
What was your income last year?
$28.50. Wasn't it, Essie?
Yes, sir.
Oh, if you please. Now, Mr. Vanderhoff, you know there's quite a penalty for not filing an income tax return.
Penalty?
Well, now look, Mr. Henderson, let me ask you something.
Well,
Well, suppose I pay you this money. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to pay it, but for the sake of argument, what would the government do with the money?
well, how do you mean?
Well, I mean, what would the government give me for my money? I mean, if I go to Macy's and buy something, there it is. I can see it. What does the government give me?
Why the government gives you everything, it protects you.
What from?
Well, evasion. Foreigners could come over and take everything you've got.
Oh, I don't believe they're going to do that.
Oh, if you don't pay your income tax, they would. How do you think the government keeps up the army, the navy, all those battleships?
Oh, the last time we used battleships was in the Spanish-American War. What'd that get us? Cuba. And we gave it back. I wouldn't mind paying if it were something sensible.
Sensible? Well, how about the Congress, the Supreme Court, the President? We have to pay them.
No, sir, not with my money, no, sir.
Now, wait a minute. I'm not here to argue with you. All I know is that you owe an income tax and you've got to pay it.
Well, they've got to show me.
We don't have to show you. I just told you. All those buildings in Washington, interstate commerce, the Constitution.
Oh, the Constitution was paid for a long time ago. And interstate commerce, what's interstate commerce?
Look, there's 48 states, see? And without interstate commerce, nothing could get from one state to the other, see?
Why not? They got fences?
No, they haven't got fences, they've got laws. My God, I've never been through anything like this before.
Well, I might pay about $75, but that's all it's worth.
You'll pay every cent of it just like everybody else.
Hey, Essie, listen to this.
And let me tell you something else. You'll go to jail if you don't pay. Do you hear that? It's the law. And if you think you're bigger than the law, you've got another thing coming. You're no better than anybody else, and the sooner you get that through your head, the better. You'll be hearing from the United States government. That's all.
How was that?
That's fine, Ed.
Well, how did that sound to you folks?
I liked
It
it.
was a good one.
My goodness, he was mad, wasn't he?
Oh, it's not his fault. It's all just so silly.
He forgot his hat.
Hey, what size is that hat?
7 and an 8.
Just right for me.
Who was that fellow anyhow?
Oh, now this must be Mr. Kirby.
Well, you better be sure this time.
Oh, yes, I will.
I hope he's good looking.
How do you do?
Good evening.
Is this Mr. Anthony Kirby, Jr.?
Yes.
Well, do come right in, Mr. Kirby. We've been expecting you. Come right in. Now, I'm Alice's mother, And this is Alice's grandfather, and that's Mr. Sycamore, and Alice's sister, Essie, and Essie's husband. There, now you know all of us.
Thank
Give
you.
me your hat and make yourself right at home.
Mother, is that Mr. Kirby?
Oh, yes, it is, darling, and he's lovely.
I'll be right down.
Well, won't you be seated, Mr. Kirby?
I hope I'm not keeping you from dinner.
Oh, no, no, oh, half a tomato.
No, thank you.
How about a piece of candy?
No, thanks.
Oh, Mr. DePenna, I'm sorry. I forgot to introduce him. Mr. Kirby, this is Mr. DePenna.
Good evening. Say, wasn't I reading about your father in the newspapers the other day? Wasn't he indicted or something?
Hardly that. He just testified before the Securities Commission.
Oh, I see.
Of course. I'm sure there was nothing crooked about Mr. DePenna. As a matter of fact, Alice has often told us what a lovely man your father is.
Well, I know Father couldn't get along without Alice. She knows more about the business than any of us.
You're awful young, Mr. Kirby, aren't you, to be vice president of a big place like that?
Well, you know what that means, Vice President. All I have is a desk with my name on it.
Is that all? Don't you get any salary?
Well, a little more than I'm worth, I'm afraid.
Now you're just being modest.
That sounds kind of dull to me. Wall Street? You like it?
Well, the hours are short and I haven't been there very long.
Oh, just out of school, huh?
Well, I knocked around for a while, just sort of had fun.
What'd you do, travel?
For a while, then I went to Cambridge for a year.
Oh, England?
That's right.
Hey, what's an English commencement like? Did you see any?
Oh, very impressive.
Oh, they are, huh?
But now the fun's over and I'm facing the world.
Well, you've certainly got a good start. Vice president and a rich father.
Well, that's hardly my fault.
Now I suppose you'll be ready to settle down and get married.
Now, Penny, I'm sure Mr. Kirby knows his own mind.
Well, I wasn't making up his mind for him, was I, Mr. Kirby?
That's quite all right, Miss Sycamore.
See,
You mustn't rush him, Mother.
well, all I meant was he's bound to get married. Suppose the wrong girl gets him.
Well, here I am, a vision in blue. Apparently you've had time to get acquainted.
Oh, yes, we were just having a delightful talk about love and marriage.
Oh dear, I came down as fast as I could.
Oh, I didn't mind in the least.
Look at those flies in the kitchen. Oh, Miss Alice, you look beautiful. Where are you going?
I'm going out, Reba.
Stepping, huh?
That must be Kalenko!
I think we'd better go.
All right.
Grandpa, I forget, do you take cream on your cornflakes?
Half and half, Donald.
Oh,
My little Rabishka!
Let's get it go, boy.
Yes, sir, Mr. Goldencock.
Good evening, everybody. Evening. Now, what do you think? I have had another letter from my friend in Russia. The second 5-year plan is a failure.
I practiced today, Mr. Kalenko.
My parola.
If you'll excuse us, Mr. Kalenkov.
Ah, Miss Alice, never have I seen you look so magnificent.
Thank you. Tony, this is Mr. Kalenkov, Essie's dancing teacher. Mr. Kirby.
How do you do? And how do you do?
Well, if you'll excuse us, Mr. Kalenkov, we're off to the Monte Carlo Ballet this evening.
The Monte Carlo Ballet? It stinks!
Yes, well, goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, it was nice to meet you all.
Goodbye.
Monte Carlo Ballet?
Isn't Mr. Kirby lovely? Come on, everybody, dinner's ready.
I thought he was a nice fellow, didn't you?
And so good looking.
Oh, and he had such nice manners. Did you notice, Paul? Did you notice his manners?
Yes, I did, and I noticed you were getting pretty personal with him, too.
Oh, now, Paul.
He's just like a
Very
cousin.
nice.
Then you had a ballet.
You know, I think if they get married here, I'll put the altar right where the stakes are. You wouldn't mind it, Grandpa, would you?
Not if the stakes don't.
Oh, I think they'll want to get married in a church, Mother. His family and everything.
Yes,
Well, that was
very
nice.
All right, everybody, quiet. Well, sir, we've been getting on pretty good for quite a while now, and we're certainly much obliged. Remember, all we want to do is go along and be happy in our own sort of way. Of course, we'd like to keep our health, but as far as everything else is concerned, we'll leave that to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, get back here, man. Hey, everyone. Quick,
marvelous.
They are, aren't they? But of course, just walking inside any theater gives me a thrill.
Well, it's been so lovely, Tony. I hate to have it over.
Oh, is it over? Do I have to go right away?
Not if you don't want to.
I don't.
Would you like a cold drink?
Wonderful.
I'll just see what's in the icebox. Want to come along?
I follow you to the ends of the earth.
Oh, just the kitchen is enough.
Well, I like it. You've done it very simple, haven't you?
Yes, we didn't know whether to do it Empire or Neo-Grecian.
So you settled for Frigidaire?
It's so easy to live with. Lucky you're not hungry, Mr. Kirby. An icebox full of cornflakes. That gives you a rough idea of the sycamores.
Why'd they make these bottle openers for singer midgets? I never did understand.
I'll take mine in a glass, if you please.
There you are, a foaming beaker.
Anyhow, it's cold.
Now, if you'll please be seated, I'd like to offer a toast.
We are seated.
Miss Sycamore, to you.
Thank you, Mr. Kirby. To you.
You know something?
What?
I wouldn't trade 1 minute of this evening for all the rice in China.
Really?
Cross my heart.
Is there much rice in China?
Terrific. Didn't you read The Good Earth? Well, I suppose I ought to go.
Is it very late?
Very. I don't want to go.
I don't want you to.
All right, I won't. When do you get your vacation?
Last 2 weeks in August.
I might take mine then, too.
Really?
What are you going to do?
I don't know. I hadn't thought about it much.
Going away, do you think?
I might not. I like the city in the summertime.
Oh, I do, too.
But you always go up to Maine, don't you?
Oh, that's right. You know, I think I like the city in the summertime if... Oh, you know what I mean. I'd love it if you were here.
Well, it'd be nice if you were here, Tony.
You know what you're saying, don't you?
What?
That you'd rather spend the summer with me than with anyone else in the whole world.
Was I?
Well, if it's true about the summer, how would you feel about the winter?
Yes, I'd like that too.
And then there's spring and autumn. If you could see your way clear about those in the Sycamore.
I might.
That's a whole year. We haven't forgotten anything, have we?
No.
Well, then...
Is that you, Alice? What time is it? Oh, excuse me, Mr. Kirby. That is, I didn't mean to interrupt anything.
That's quite all right, Miss Sycamore.
I just came down for manuscript, and then you can go right ahead. Here it is. Sex takes a holiday. Well, good night, Tony.
Good night, Mrs. Sycamore.
Oh, I think you can call me Penny, don't you, Alice? At least I hope so.
What was that?
It's all right, Tony. That's Father.
This time of night?
Any time of night. Any time of day.
You know, you're more beautiful, more lovely, more adorable than anyone else in the whole world.
Don't, Tony.
But, my dear, just because you're mother, all mothers are like that. Penny's darling. See? I'm even calling her Penny.
I don't mean that. Look, Tony, this is something I should have said to you a long time ago, but, well, I didn't have the courage because I let myself be swept away because I loved you so.
Darling.
No, wait, Tony. I need to make this clear to you. Listen, you're of a different world, a whole different kind of people. Oh, I don't mean money or socially, that's too silly, but, well, your family and my family, it just wouldn't work, Tony. It wouldn't work.
All right, have it your way. She can't dance. That's why they pay her all that money, because she can't dance.
Well, I don't call that dancing what she does. Oh, hello. How was the ballet?
It was fine, Essie.
Wonderful.
Oh, hello there.
Hello.
Look, what do you people think? Ed and I just saw Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Do you think she can dance, Mr. Kirby?
Oh, yes, I've always thought so.
But what does she do anyhow? Now look, you're Fred Astaire and I'm Ginger Rogers.
Essie, please.
I only want to use him for a minute. Now look, Mr. Kirby.
Essie, you're just as good as Ginger Rogers. We all agree.
You see, Ed?
Yeah, come on, Essie. We're running in here.
But they've been together all evening. Good night, Mr. Kirby. Good night, Alice.
Good night, Mrs. Carmichael.
Good night. Essie, did you ask Grandpa about us having a baby?
Oh, yes. He said to go right ahead.
You see, Tony, that's what it would be like.
Oh, I wouldn't mind that. Anyhow, we're not going to be living with your family. It's just you and I.
No, it isn't. It's never quite that. I love them, Tony. I love them deeply. And I know some people could break away, but I couldn't. I know they do rather strange things, but they're fun and they're gay and, well, I don't know. There's a kind of nobility about them.
Alice, you talk as only if you can understand them. That's not so. Everyone has a family. What of it? My father raises orchids at $10,000 a bulb. Is that sensible? My mother believes in spiritualism. That's just as bad as your mother writing plays, isn't it?
It goes deeper than that, Tony. Your mother believes in spiritualism because it's fashionable, and, well, your father raises orchids because he can afford to. My mother writes plays because 8 years ago, a typewriter was delivered here by mistake.
Darling, what of it?
And look at Grandpa. 35 years ago, he just quit business one day. He started up to his office in the elevator and came right down again. He just stopped. He could have been a rich man, but he said it took too much time, so for 35 years, he's just collected snakes and gone to circuses and commencements and, well, it never occurs to any of them that there's another world out there with other...
Hello there, children.
Good evening, Mr. Renrock.
How's the weather? It looks like a nice summer evening.
It's lovely, Grandpa.
Well, I'm off. Goodbye, Mr. Kirby. I have a date with the policeman on the corner.
Policeman?
Yes, we have a standing date, 12:30 every night. I've known him since he was a little boy. He's really a doctor. When he graduated, he came to me and said he didn't want to be a doctor. He had always wanted to be a policeman. So I said, be a policeman if that's what you want to be. That's what he did. Oh, by the way, how do you like my new hat?
It's very nice.
Yeah, I like it. The government gave it to me.
Oh, Reba, she's my lover. She kissed like my love. Oh, good evening, folks. I didn't know you was in here.
It's all right, Donald.
Reba fancied some candy, and I thought I'd come in. There it is. Excuse me, just a moment. You all don't want any of this candy, do you?
No, Donald.
Did you all have a nice evening?
Yes, Donald.
Was dinner nice?
Yes, Donald.
Was the ballet nice?
Yes, Donald.
Oh, that's nice.
Now, do you see what I mean? Could you explain Donald to your father? Could you explain Grandpa? You couldn't, Tony. You couldn't. I love you, Tony, but I love them too, and it's no use. It's just no use.
There's only one thing you've said that matters. It makes any sense at all. You love me.
But Tony, I know so well.
But that doesn't stop people who love each other, darling. Won't you trust me? Go on loving me and forget everything else.
How can I?
Because nothing can keep us apart. You know that. You must. They want you to be happy, don't they? They must.
Well, of course they do, but well, they can't change, Tony. I wouldn't want them to change.
But they don't have to change. They're charming, lovable people just as they are. Everything's going to work out. You're worrying about something that can never come up.
Tony, am
We love each other. That's so, isn't it?
I? Yes.
Well, then.
Tony.
Now I'd like to see a little gaiety around here. Young gentlemen calling and getting engaged and everything.
Well, what do I say?
Well, first you thank the young man for getting engaged to you.
Thank you, Mr. Kirby, for getting engaged to me.
And then you tell him what it was about him that first took your girl to start.
It was the back of your head. It wasn't your money or your charm. It was the back of your head. I just liked it.
Well, what happened when I turned around?
Oh, I got used to it after a while.
We're the most fortunate people in the world.
I know that I am. I'm the luckiest girl in the world.
Not exactly unlucky myself. Oh dear, I guess I'll have to go. Until tomorrow, my darling.
Good night.
Isn't it wonderful we work in the same office? Otherwise, I'd be hanging around here all day.
Won't it be funny seeing each other in the office tomorrow, Tony, and we're just going on as though nothing had happened?
Thank God I'm Vice President. I can dictate to you all day. Dear Mrs. Sycamore.
I love you, I love you, I love you.
Darling, you're such a fool.
Won't you meet me in the drugstore in the morning before you go up to the office? I have millions of things to say to you.
All right.
And then lunch, and then dinner tomorrow night.
Well, Tony, what will people say?
It's got to come out sometime. In fact, if you know a good house stop, I'd like to do a little shouting.
Yes, sir, Mr. Independent. Didn't we do a good night's work?
Yeah, that's but 500 Black Panthers, 300 Willow Trees, and 8 dozen Junior Kitty Bombers.
Yes, sir, a good night's work. Oh, hello, Alice. Did you just get in?
No, I've been home quite a while, Father.
Well, did you have a nice evening?
I had a beautiful evening, Father.
Say, Alice, I want you to see this new red fire that we made tonight. It's absolutely beautiful. Mr. Dependent, would you turn the lights off? I want Alice to get the full effect.
What, Father?
This new red fire we made. You've got to see it. It absolutely is the most wonderful thing you ever saw.
Oh, everything's beautiful, Father. It's the most beautiful red fire in the world.